Hi, good morning. I hope you're doing well. So, today I'm presenting something on a topic which caught my attention yesterday and it grabbed a lot of headlines. So, I thought I'll do a quick video on ePlane. So, it's a company which has launched uh, air ambulance services, and they have struck a big deal to supply around 800 such aircrafts. So, let's talk more and know more about this company. And this I'm just creating for educational purposes only. I was curious about this company, so I did some digging, some research. So I thought I'll share that with you all as well. So, as you know, anybody who has lived in India, we all know about the traffic and how difficult it is for anyone, forget an ambulance, to reach their destination in time. So, this particular company, uh, ePlane, has created or they plan to create air ambulances which can do vertical takeoff and can their aim is to cut down the traffic time or to reach hospitals or other healthcare centers as soon as possible. So this company was started, or incubated in IT Madras, and IT Madras, as you know, is a very premier institution in India, one of the top IITs, and their goal was to revolutionize air mobility with sustainable, compact, efficient eVTOL solutions. So, if you want to know what is a VTOL, so we all have seen drones. So they have fans, which allows it to do vertical takeoff and landing. So unlike a plane which goes on a runway, gathers speed, then takes off, these they take minimal space, so they can just do vertical takeoff and then they reach there, and then they can cover short distances. And unlike a plane, the speed is less because they have vertical fans, but in a urban setting, still it's much higher than other alternatives. So as I was doing the research, this company was started about 7 years back by Professor Satya, who is an IT Madras graduate. Then he later did his PhD at Georgia Tech, and now he's a professor at IT Madras. So a great story. A student then who studied abroad, then came back to do something impactful. So great example of that. And they have been at various stages. As you can see, it was IT Madras has a great created a great ecosystem to incubate startups, especially in the technology area. And this is one of those stories which is very promising. So now they have done Series B funding, and yesterday it was all over the place. And you might be curious as well. They have signed $1 billion air ambulance deal, and to supply close to 800 ambulances all over India, which is something which is amazing. And this is something huge, and especially the kind of problems it will solve for patients or people who need urgent healthcare assistance or emergency assistance. It has such a big promise to make that kind of an impact. So again, one of the inspirations was to address urban congestion. That's a big problem in India and many other places. And the idea was to start small, and ultimately their vision is to scale into passenger air taxis. So you utilize whatever space they have. Again, in congested locations, you have very limited space. So how they can use leverage it to for takeoff and landing. So all these planes they're going to be two seaters. The cruise speed will be around 150 to 200 kilometers an hour, which is about 120 or 130 miles an hour. So much slower than a regular aircraft, which usually flies at 500 miles an hour. Range will be around 200 kilometers, again 130, 140. So it's sufficient for any urban distance, even in large cities. Uh, and going by this, road speeds and congestion. it can be about 10x faster than road transport. So it will have four fan rotors. It will be battery powered, which is again a big thing. So no emission, and on a single charge, it will go up to that distance. So it's a pretty promising technology for to take a patient to the hospital. So in terms of the configuration, this picture has been taken courtesy from their website. So they have actually reconfigured the interiors of the plane for medical emergencies. It will have a stretcher, paramedic, patient, and have the equipment which is needed to support a patient, oxygen and other things. So again, and they're planning to launch it in late 2026. So far the funding level has been modest. So some major, there have been some investors. There's some people who have come in. So Series B at this stage, and they will require some more funding uh, for to start their operations and scaling it further. So again, need not talk on this one, but at the same time, what is interesting to know, quite a few companies in India, startups in India, are working in this particular area because it's, again, as we talked about, necessity is the mother of invention. The congestion is a problem. So both in India and other places, companies are coming in and trying to explore this space, how they can enter this market and create the right kind of solutions. So in terms of kind of in the India, the regulatory body is DGCA, and so it will go through those approvals. They have taken some initial approval, and initially this will be human piloted, and then they will look at autonomous versions so that it can fly on its own or can be controlled vertically. And again, looking at the places where it can land or where it can take off. And one of the goals is also to go for global approvals from American bodies like FAA, EASA, and so on. So of course, some of the challenges in these kind of things is always the weight, any flying object. So batteries are usually quite heavy, and as you may know, right, an electric vehicle, the big part of their any vehicle, whether it's a car or a plane, is consumed by the battery. A typical Tesla is much more heavier than any other gas powered car like uh, you know Toyota Camry or something else, almost 1.5 times more. So the battery takes a lot of weight. So optimizing that is one of the key parts. And below that, there's the roadmap. So over next 5 years, they are looking to launch air taxis. So they are in the early stage. So again, 2025 is a pivotal year for them, so that they can do the first manned flight for that prototype, and then they get into the rollout mode in 2026. So very, very interesting space. I'll be watching them keenly, and pretty excited to see this. So again, this is something which I feel was desperately needed in India given the congestion, and so this company has done something or has achieved something which is extremely promising, and we'll be looking at this space going forward. Thank you very much for watching.